So we're here at the Great Yorkshire Show at Harrogate, North Yorkshire, and I'm with Pete, the brand activation specialist for Tailors of Harrogate. Pete, thanks for making the brews.
Pleasure.
It'd have been wrong not to have this chat without one. I suppose for anyone that doesn't live in Yorkshire or doesn't drink hot drinks, tell us a little bit about Tailors of Harrogate.
Wow, okay, yeah, big question. So we are a independent family-run business here in Harrogate, so literally a mile away from here, just up the hill. And yeah, that's where all of our tea and coffee comes from. We are part of a wider group, so there's Tailors of Harrogate, which is your coffee, your speciality teas. You've got Yorkshire tea, and then the famous Betty's of Harrogate tea rooms.
Queuing round the block for Betty's.
Always.
Yeah,
always.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So give us a sense of how big the company is then. I mean, how many brews a year are Yorkshire tea? How many coffee bags are you doing now with Tailors of Harrogate?
So we make somewhere between about it's about 52 million coffee bags a year, I think, at the moment. Category leader in those, and then for Yorkshire tea, yeah, it's between 5 and 7 billion tea bags a year, which most of them, like I say, come from just over the hill there. So yeah, it's a big operation, a lot of stuff being made.
See, I love Yorkshire tea. I think, like, as a brand that champions Yorkshire, flies the flag for our county, God's own country, and also like just your advertising campaigns. Some really cool campaigns over the year. I mean, I sort of think Brownlee Brothers after the Olympics. Yeah. Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
It's the big ones.
Yeah. Michael Parkinson. Yeah. You just, I guess, when it comes to advertising and marketing, you do it proper.
We do, yeah. I mean, that's not something that sort of is in my world as I sit to events, but yeah, I'm always really in awe of the marketing team and the people behind that at work and how they carve out this unique tone of voice and get together with some pretty awesome people. Like, I met Patrick Stewart in the advert. I'm in that advert, actually. See me right at the end.
I'm going to watch that again later.
Little furry arm sign. But yeah, I met him, a lovely, lovely man who genuinely likes Yorkshire tea, and there's some real magic about that, and that's kind of what we're trying to create with Tailors as we go on, is also kind of trying to bring that tone of voice out and show people who we are, which is a passionate bunch of people.
And even that latest advert for Tailors, where, you know, it's not quite as quirky a brand, is it? Is that fair?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more safe, if you like, but actually playing a little bit on a why didn't we do this sooner? Taking the mickey out of yourself as a company. I thought really good fun and a cracking advert. So you mentioned events are your area.
Yeah.
Where do events and where does an exhibition trailer like the one we're going to talk about in a minute fall into your plan? Because obviously you're not selling from this trailer.
No, not yet anyway, not at the moment, even if I'd like to. And people want to pay as well, by the way, which we don't take. So yeah, I mean, events is an important part of both brands. We have above the line content, so your TV adverts that you talked about, and then there's the below the line stuff, which is really getting out and about and meeting people. So being here to talk to people, really share with them where tea and coffee comes from, explaining that journey, the taste profiles, answering questions really that a lot of people have about hot drinks. You can't do it in any better way than this, which is just being side by side with people. So it always forms part of our plan for both brands. So this year for Tailors, it's coming to the Yorkshire Show, sell out 140,000 people, and then later on into the VW Fest at Harewood. So two really local things, but that's great for coffee bags. It's a good job there. And then yeah, for Yorkshire Tea, we're all over the place. Students, trade shows, you name it. So it's a busy time for us, but it's what drives people towards purchase.
Yeah, and I think when you come to a show like this, it's absolutely huge. Everyone's trying to be creative, everyone's trying to stand out in a unique way. Something like this really helps you do that.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. And I think this is actually the environment for coffee bags. Like, this whole thing is about being outdoors, on the move, from the clothing you buy to the activities that are taking place to the suppliers and traders that are here. Coffee bags resonates with everybody when you haven't got time to make a big dirty cafetiere and no one walks around with an espresso machine in their pocket. So this is just a cup, hot water, bit of milk, and you're ready to go.
You're aware.
This is speciality grade coffee, done easy really.
So how many people this week will sample the Tailors of Harrogate coffee bag?
I'm looking probably about 8,000, maybe a little bit more. If we do run short, I can nip back to the factory and knock on the window, and they'll fly some out, I think. But yeah, it'll be about 8,000 cups of coffee, I think.
Amazing.
Over 4 days.
And I think for any business thinking, you know, can 8,000 people sample my product in a week? That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, and I'm probably being a bit tight as a Yorkshireman. That comes naturally to us, doesn't it? But I think, yeah, if I sort of sample from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, we probably would do more. It's just my team would be tired.
Yeah, so
I'd be tired.
How many guys are here? How many people does it take to run?
We've got 8 today.
Right, okay.
7 tomorrow. And that's about as low down as you can go before you've got people out there bringing people in, a couple in the trailer, the admin at the back, people on breaks and stuff. So
yeah, it's a real team effort.
Yeah,
and great to get your guys front of house in front of people.
Yeah, and these are all people that work in our business. There's no, you know, promotional teams are brilliant, but actually these are people that work in our business.
Yeah.
Emma, who's just taken a cheeky picture there and probably going to rinse me later, works within our sales team in shopper marketing and stuff. So people just come out and want to be part of it.
So it's a great thing to do. It looks fantastic, but ultimately marketing budgets get squeezed all the time, especially when the economy gets a bit more challenging. I mean, are you measuring the impact of this? Can you see the difference it makes in terms of brand awareness, in terms of new customer acquisition, sales?
Yeah, you definitely can with coffee bags. I think we had a presentation recently where we were looking at kind of the rise and fall of sales over a period of time, and actually coffee bags seem to be kind of quite punchy over a particular time where we were activating both dry samples into people's homes as well as doing experiential. So yeah, definitely works, and there's no better way of proving that something's good than asking someone to taste it and letting them be the judge, and that's what this whole week's going to be about.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I hope it's a great week for you. Just take me back then. So where did the idea actually come from?
For coffee bags?
Yeah, for the exhibition trailer, for events like this.
Yeah, so basically we decided that Taylor's has never had a sampling asset.
Right.
So we've had Little Urn for Yorkshire tea for years, and that's been fabulously popular. It's got its own personality, its own following. But for Taylor's, we've never had one, and it was like, why?
Yeah.
Why have we not got a sampling asset? We worked with Big Coffee a number of years ago on Little Urn, and they've been looking after that ever since. So we went to them and said, look, what could we do? We sat in a room, had a big chat, came up with a list of requirements and what we wanted it to do, and that's kind of where the journey started, really.
Fantastic. So am I right to say you've got 3 of these now? Little Urn, the new trailer here, plus one?
Well, yeah, so we've got a very, very tired Little Urn Mark 1 who needs major TLC. So, you can see these guys smiling, that might be business coming. You've got Little Urn Mark 2, which is a fab vehicle and is still in use now at the moment. And then obviously we've got this. So three assets, 2 that are on the road.
Yeah, I think that's great though. I think for anyone watching this though, to know it's not a one-off, it's not a flash in the pan, it's something that you've been doing year in, year out for a number of years now, so it clearly works for the business.
Yeah, it's good, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
This could not be a better day at work for me.
Yeah, nice for the team, but also as a brand. I mean, you're going to stand out. Having fun's a big part of it, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and we've got to be careful. We're in an environment where there's other people selling coffee, the flat whites and all those sorts of things. We're not doing that today, and we always try to make sure that we're respectful to those traders, where we're not side by side crippling somebody who's literally sort of 2 people in a van.
Yeah.
And that's important to us, and we're offering a slightly different product in an 8-ounce cup rather than a 12, and there's no textured milk shrinks on here. So it's again just respecting the environment you're in, being relevant, but also being friendly. The first brews we serve of every day are always the people that are set up around you, and that's kind of how we mean to go on.
So what are you going to do today? So obviously you're giving out samples, but you've got an event at 1 o'clock. I think you're inviting people to something a bit special.
So coffee bag sampling throughout the day, and then this afternoon we're jumping onto a masterclass. So we've got Will from our innovation team who's been buying some exceptionally rare lot coffee. So we've got a coffee coming in from Colombia, which is a natural coffee. So it's not been washed. It's quite funky. It's effectively ripened in its own cherry in the sun, which brings on a real funkiness. But this stuff is seriously scarce.
Right.
And very expensive. It's like 28 quid for 100 grams.
Wow.
You can't buy this anymore. It's sold out. This crazy guy in Colombia, Maurizio, I think he's called, made this stuff. And we're going to brew that up and let people try it. And they'll love it and they'll hate it in equal measure. But it's something that you would never see on a supermarket shelf. You'd probably never opt to buy because of the price point. And it's just something that's a bit different and talks to quality. And to do that on the trailer with some bar stools, having that immersive experience, it's quite... there's only be 10 people.
Yeah.
So it's not a whole
quite
crowd
exclusive,
of people.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah, you've got to feel special. So we'll do that a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
I think last year we did an affogato masterclass
Yeah.
on the trailer, and we did an espresso martini
I saw that,
masterclass. Both went down really well, and again, it just shows you how coffee can flex into other environments in other ways, and this trailer allows you to do that because you've got the space, you've got the prominence to draw people in to sign up. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this.
It sounds fantastic, and I presume you've reserved me one of those 10 seats.
Obviously, yeah.
Great, happy days. I think that's really important though, that even when you've got this incredible setup, you've still got to do interesting, creative things to get people on your stand, haven't you? And you're obviously putting a lot of effort into that.
Well, otherwise it's just coffee, right?
Yeah.
If someone walks away and they don't remember what that was or who you are, then you've not really done your job. So I think, giving somebody a positive memory, something fun to think about, whether that is a free coffee or whether that's a keep cup or whether that's a masterclass. It's just stuff to try and be different, do different things, shake it up a bit. And that's the bit that makes me smile.
So how have you experienced working with Mobile Retail and the Big Coffee? I know it's your 3rd vehicle, so you're probably going to say some good things, but it's been a while, so what's the journey been like?
Yeah, good for me. So I didn't take part in the Little Urn stuff. That happened just before I joined Taylor's, actually. But I've then been Little Urn's keeper, more or less, sort of since probably last 3 or 4 years. So it felt natural to go to them over in Hull. Keep it close to home.
So Yorkshire companies,
exactly
is
important to us. So yeah, went over to those guys, and it's just been good, like to know Russ and to start with Rob and stuff, like, you know, even Claire in the office, just having a relationship with everybody there that's on the end of a phone or an email. It's just been really invaluable. So they've definitely bent to our will. Like we've given them like, hurry up, do this. You know, managing our expectations has probably not been an easy thing at points. But it's a partnership. It's something you enter into together to try and come out with something.
Well, you said earlier on you're really particular when choosing your suppliers, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, because we've got to do right by each other. It's got to be mutually respectful, and I think this has, to be honest. I think it's not been the easiest journey, because look at the size of this thing. It's massive and it does so much stuff. So, I think it's not been easy. Some of the conversations haven't always been easy, but we're here together smiling and having a laugh and being very proud of something, and I think...
Anything long term and that's as big as this occasion is going to be robust. I think that's right, and you're both bringing your expertise to the table, so you might have differing views.
Yeah, and it needs a polish and a shine.
Yeah.
And you think of new things that it might need or things it doesn't need anymore. And it's an evolution. So this isn't a one-trick pony. This isn't a one-hit relationship. This is touching base every now and then and identifying what it needs to do, where it needs to go, how it does it. And I think, you know, Big Coffee, those guys, Russ, very receptive to that, very up for the challenge.
Totally, and I think, you know, as we're used to working with big brands, you know, and appreciate just how important your brand is, you know, from the colour to the font, to the tone of voice you talked about, the personality of the business, trying to work with you to create something that is unique, does reflect who you are, and ultimately attracts an audience, right? Attracts attention. Hopefully, you know, we've done a really good job of that for you. Yeah, it's fab. I mean, the feedback we've got on this trailer is ludicrous. Like, people are just loving it, and like they're amazed. Like, it's not a pop-up gazebo. It's something much more than that. It's something that feels almost semi-permanent, like we're here and we're here to stay kind of thing, and I think people love that. So yeah, the feedback is nothing but awesome from both inside and outside the business for us. Fantastic to hear. So, provided they don't work in hot beverages, if somebody else was thinking about doing something similar, what advice would you give them? What would you say? I think just have a really clear brief of what you're wanting to achieve and why and where and what's possible and not, and maybe go to the art of the impossible to begin with, because I think that's an exciting challenge to set, and then see how a team like this kind of responds. And then once you start getting into the nitty-gritty, just keep really close to it. Make sure you go visit. You know, I remember coming to see the trailer when it was in the factory kind of halfway through, and it was exciting, and I was quite nervous as well because we were up against a deadline and things. So yeah, just work with them. Like, be prepared to like be on the same page. Go speak to each other. Pick up the phone, email, visit, and it'll happen. But trust as well. I think it's a huge part of this. Trusting people to understand who you are and what you do and why you need it. It'll help them, and that's what Russ, David, all of the guys there have done. Amazing. So there you have it, guys. I guess from Taylors of Harrogate, what investing in a trailer like this has done for their brand, their business. 8,000 people this week will experience a new product for the very first time, so that's really exciting. Pete shared some great marketing hints and tips, some events hints and tips and advice on how you can do something similar and really make an impact for your business. So if you want some help, get in touch, speak to Jason, Rob, Russ and the team, and everybody at Mobile Retail would love to see you, love to help you. And for now, I guess have a great show, Pete, and cheers for the brew. Cheers, yeah, thanks for coming.